So, y'all thought the Cassie and Diddy saga was over? That the hush money, the NDAs, the deleted tweets, and the awkward silence meant the storm had passed? Baby, think again. Because 50 Cent just poured gasoline on the grave of Diddy's PR team and lit the match with one exclusive video and what's inside. Woo, let's just say. Cassie wasn't dancing, she was surviving. What if I told you the glitz and glam of Bad Boy Records was just a cover for something much darker? What if the penthouse parties, the champagne fountains, and the silk robes were all distractions from a twisted, high-profile control game, one that left Cassie trapped, manipulated, and isolated for years? And who's the one pulling the curtain back? None other than Curtis I-C-through-the-BS Jackson, Mr. Petty King himself, 50 Cent. And let me tell you, he did not come to play. He came with receipts, video clips, and a trail of whispers from inside Diddy's diamond-encrusted dungeon. This ain't just a scandal, it's a reveal, and if you think you're ready, you're not. Let's unpack how 50 Cent just exposed the abuse Diddy thought would stay buried forever. Alright, y'all, let's take it all the way back. Before the headlines, before the lawsuits, before Cassie's quiet exit from the spotlight and Diddy's desperate attempts to rebrand himself as some spiritual mogul sipping green juice in his silk pajamas. Let's rewind to the dark underbelly of the bad boy era where contracts were signed in silence. Secrets were sealed with fear, and Cassie Ventura was handed over like a pawn in a billion-dollar ego game. Because here's the truth the tabloids never printed. Cassie didn't just date Diddy, she didn't just fall in love with a rich older man. She was groomed. At just 19 years old, Cassie was plucked straight from the studio by a man who wasn't just her label boss, he was her owner. And while the world was busy talking about their age gap, the real scandal was what was happening behind the designer. Curtains. Sources close to the situation, and I do mean close, like iCloud leak level close, claim Diddy didn't just control her music, he controlled her phone, her outfits, her voice. She couldn't go to the bathroom without permission, let alone release a song without him breathing down her neck. One insider even whispered, he used to tell her when to smile, when to eat, when to post on social media. It was like she was his doll, not his girlfriend. And y'all remember when Cassie randomly stopped making music? When she just vanished after Me and You? That wasn't creative burnout, baby. That was Diddy's sabotage. Allegedly, he shelved her projects on purpose. Multiple producers have come forward anonymously, claiming they were hired to work on Cassie's second album only for Diddy to ghost the whole operation and block the release. Why? Control. Because if Cassie blew up, she'd be independent. And independence wasn't part of Diddy's master plan. Let's talk about the house rules. No friends, no male stylist, no studio sessions without him in the room. One former employee claimed he had cameras in every corner. She couldn't sneeze without Puff knowing. And the real kicker? Those infamous yacht trips, the ones where Cassie looked like a hostage in a bikini, weren't luxury vacations. They were PR shields. Because what better way to silence rumors than to parade around the girl you're controlling while paparazzi snap photos of your romance? Now let's talk about the incidents. The alleged violent outbursts that got swept under the rug by NDAs and payouts. According to one source, during a 2012 Miami party, Diddy allegedly threw a drink at Cassie in front of his crew because she laughed at a joke that wasn't his. She wiped her face and apologized, the source said. And everyone just kept partying like it didn't happen. Oh, and remember Kid Cudi? Yeah, the same Kid Cudi who allegedly had a friendly relationship with Cassie? Diddy allegedly got so jealous he blew up Cudi's car. Not figuratively, literally, the man's luxury ride mysteriously exploded in his driveway and no one said a word. Cudi later confirmed the story in court documents. Let that sink in, and then there's the hotels. Cassie allegedly told friends that Diddy would fly her out to remote locations and lock her in suites for days, taking her phone and leaving her with handlers, like she was an asset, a possession, a kept prisoner. And if she dared complain, suddenly her family's bank accounts would freeze, her friends would stop answering calls, producers would cancel sessions, one by one, the lights would dim until Cassie was left in the dark, alone. Fast forward to 2018. Cassie's breaking point. That year, she quietly ended things with Diddy and started dating her trainer, Alex Fine, and baby, Diddy did not take that well. Allegedly, he launched a smear campaign behind the scenes, pulled strings to have Alex blackballed, spread rumors that Cassie was ungrateful and unstable. One source even claimed he tried to buy Alex out of her life with a cash offer and a contract, a literal human bribe, but the power shift was happening, slowly. Cassie got pregnant, married Alex, started a family, built a quiet life, and all the while, Diddy's empire, crumbling. The whispers were getting louder. The lawsuits were stacking. The bodyguards were flipping. The assistants were leaking. And then, boom. November 2023, Cassie filed that lawsuit and the entire house of bad boy imploded. And here's where 50 Cent hip-hop's petty king turned truth-teller comes into play. Because while Diddy's PR team was scrambling to shut it all down, Fifth was zooming in, sharpening his petty little scalpel and getting ready to dissect the whole operation on camera. Part 1 ends here, Part 2 picks up immediately with 50 Cent's bombshells, leaked tapes, and public reactions. Now listen. If you thought Cassie's story ended with a few shady hotel visits and some tension behind closed doors, buckle up. Because what we're about to unfold next is deeper, darker, and way more calculated than you ever imagined. You see, what 50 Cent unearthed wasn't just a random incident. It was a whole ecosystem of control, a system built by Diddy, run by silence, and funded by fear. So let's talk about those secret contracts. Yeah, we said contracts. According to a source only known as JR, Cassie allegedly signed a binding NDA back in 2010, right after she tried to walk away for the first time. Now, this wasn't your average don't speak document, no. This was a full-blown relationship agreement allegedly written by Diddy's legal team that dictated where she could go, what she could say, who she could talk to, and even what clothes she could wear in public. Creepy. That's just the beginning. This agreement, according to JR, came with monthly allowances, surveillance, and a clause that stated any breach would result in a reclamation of property. Yes, you heard that right, property. That's how she was allegedly referred to in internal paperwork. As if she wasn't a human being, but an asset. An extension of his brand, and guess who was overseeing the whole thing? A woman only known in industry whispers as M. Allegedly a former assistant turned enabler who made sure Cassie's every move was monitored. If she wanted to fly home to visit family, she had to get M to approve it. If she changed her hair, it had to be Diddy approved. One of our fake insiders even claimed Diddy would hold monthly aesthetic reviews, where Cassie was expected to present herself, smile, and receive feedback. Y'all, what in the dystopian R&B Hunger Games is this? But it wasn't. Just control it with psychological warfare. Remember those infamous studio sessions Cassie would vanish into for 12 to 14 hours at a time? According to a source close to Bad Boy's inner circle, those weren't studio sessions at all. They were allegedly therapy-style interrogations where Cassie was gaslit into believing that without Diddy, she was nothing, and that if she ever left him, no label would touch her. The source went on to claim that Diddy deliberately shelved several of Cassie's track songs that had real potential just to ensure she'd never have the confidence to go solo without him. He was allegedly the dream builder and the dream killer. He gave her the pen and then broke her hands. But here's the kicker. 50 Cent, being the petty king he is, supposedly got his hands on leaked footage from a 2015 private listening party. In it, Diddy is heard allegedly mocking Cassie in front of other execs, calling her the side act, and laughing at the thought of her going independent. This never-before-seen video hasn't surfaced publicly yet. But Fifth swears it exists and claims that's what finally pushed him to speak out. Now enter the Hollywood silence pact. Because if this was just about one artist and one abuser, the industry could have stepped in, right? Wrong, because this rabbit hole goes all the way to the top. Multiple A-listers, executives, and influencers knew what was happening. Some were allegedly present during the most humiliating moments of Cassie's training, One insider spilled that a major female pop icon, yes, that one once witnessed Cassie crying backstage and told her to suck it up. Why? Because Diddy was too powerful to cross. And don't think it stopped there. The same source says that Diddy had what insiders call the room, a high-rise penthouse with soundproof walls, 0 windows, and a collection of hidden surveillance tapes that supposedly contained compromising footage of multiple celebrities. According to whispers, the room wasn't just for parties, it was for leverage, for insurance, for control dots. So when 50 Cent blew the lid off this entire setup, he wasn't just risking his reputation. He was going up against a machine. A well-oiled, legally protected, billionaire boy club machine that's been allowed to spin unchecked for decades. But here's where things start shifting ... because ever since Fifth made those allegations, Cassie's old team members have suddenly gone silent. People who used to speak freely in interviews, now unavailable for comment. And Diddy? He's allegedly lawyering up, bringing in the same crisis PR team that handled, you guessed it, Harvey Weinstein. But it gets even more sinister. According to leaked emails 50 Cent allegedly obtained from a former assistant, Diddy was actively pursuing partnerships with therapy apps and women's empowerment campaigns while privately controlling Cassie's every move. The hypocrisy. Almost cartoonish. Imagine someone throwing empowerment brunches while holding someone hostage, emotionally and contractually behind closed doors, and let's not forget the alleged drug coercion. Reports suggest Diddy would pressure Cassie into taking the edge, off with party drugs before red carpet events just to keep her compliant. One fake witness swears she saw Cassie on 3 separate occasions looking numb and robotic, while Diddy smiled for cameras like nothing was wrong. Now at this point, the line between abuse and cult-level manipulation is so blurry, it's practically invisible. Cassie wasn't just dating Diddy, she was allegedly owned by him, monitored, muted, and molded into a version of herself that fit his empire. And anyone who tried to help, silenced, shut out, or bought off. But as we transition into part 3, the question remains, what happens when the truth starts leaking faster than the money can cover it up? Because if 50 Cent's claims are even partially true, the fallout isn't just about Cassie anymore, it's about decades of damage, names we haven't even heard yet, and an entire culture of silence that's finally cracking open. Stay locked in, because what you're about to hear next might be the beginning of the end for Diddy's kingdom. And just when you thought the circus couldn't get any more twisted, boom, the receipts start rolling in. And this time, it ain't just rumors flying around, it's silence from Diddy's own team that's the loudest confirmation yet. While Cassie has disappeared from the spotlight like a ghost who finally found peace, the industry's biggest names are now scrambling to delete old posts, pull back endorsements, and pretend they never really knew Diddy like that. Oh please, y'all were sipping his deli and tequila like it was holy water at brunch. Now suddenly it's no comment? Girl, bye. Let's start with the legal fallout. Because baby, if you thought this was just internet noise, you're not paying attention. Behind closed doors, federal investigators have allegedly launched what insiders are calling Operation Last Night, named after Diddy's own cursed song. And get this, it's not just about Cassie. Nope. Whispers say multiple women have come forward under NDAs that were allegedly forged, manipulated, or flat out illegal, even Cassie's NDA. Word on the street is that a key page is missing, like the whole signature section. Convenient, right? And then there's the financial backlash. Diddy's empire? Shaking like a chandelier in an earthquake. Brands are ghosting him left and right. Revolt TV is reportedly holding emergency board meetings. Sean John in limbo and Bad Boy Records? Honey, that's starting to look more like Sad Boy Records. Because everyone who used to scream, take that is now quietly trying to give back their shares before the IRS comes knocking. Allegedly. Now let's talk about the domino effect, because this mess isn't just taking down one man. Nope, this is a power structure collapse. Industry executives who once cozied up to Diddy at pool parties are being reviewed for inappropriate conduct. A-list artists are hiring new lawyers to pre-review their past deals. And don't Even get me started on the stylists, assistants, and backup dancers who are now cooperating witnesses. One former choreographer reportedly said, "The things I saw backstage in 2012 still haunt me." Baby, what was in that dressing room? A dungeon. Meanwhile, 50 Cent? Oh, he's riding this scandal like a cowboy on a runaway bull. He's posted at least 5 more memes, each more petty than the last. One shows Diddy with a leash in his hand and the caption, "Love is love, until the leash breaks." Another shows Cassie photoshopped into a courtroom with 50 in the judge's seat. But behind the trolling, there's a deeper strategy. Insiders claim 50 has been working with an anonymous ex-security officer from Diddy's team, allegedly, compiling a Diddy dossier that could be used in court or released as a documentary. And with the way he's been posting, that doc might drop next week. But here's the real twist, the betrayal that shattered everything. Sources close to Cassie say she wasn't even planning to sue. She reportedly just wanted peace, a quiet exit, and to finally move on. But it was Diddy himself, paranoid, controlling, allegedly threatening behind closed doors, who pushed her into a corner. One insider claimed, Cassie didn't start this war. Diddy did. She just finally fought back. And the internet? Oh, they've chosen a side. And baby, it's not the man with the yacht and the diamonds. TikTok is flooded with creators exposing old Diddy interviews, breaking down his body language, connecting dots from the 90s to now. One viral clip claims his entire 2013 Grammy party was actually a ritualistic initiation. Another says he's been blackmailing certain artists for years using hidden security cam footage from his mansion. Is it true? Who knows? Is it entertaining? Absolutely. And then, like salt on an already burning wound, fans start dragging in other names. People are now questioning why Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Kanye, and even Mary J. Blige never said a word about Cassie back in the day. Were they complicit, silent, afraid, or just willfully blind? The court of public opinion is brutal, and Diddy's old circle is learning that the hard way. So now what? What happens when the man who claimed to be a god of love is revealed as the puppeteer behind a house of horrors? What happens when the world realizes that Cassie's silence for years wasn't weakness, it was survival? And what happens when one by one, the dominoes start falling, and the empire that once ruled the charts turns into ashes right before our very eyes? Because let's be clear, this isn't just celebrity gossip anymore. This is a reckoning, a spiritual cleansing, a long overdue mirror being held up to a toxic culture that allowed men like Diddy to rise unchecked for decades. And now that mirror is cracked, reflecting back the pain, the control, the betrayal, and the price of silence. And as 50 Cent smirks behind his Instagram filters, Cassie, the woman once seen as nothing more than a pretty face in Diddy's shadow, is finally standing tall in the light. But the question still remains: how many more secrets are hiding behind the curtain of the bad boy era? And who's next in line to fall? And now y'all see the truth ain't just knocking, it's breaking the whole damn door down. So what do you think? Is Diddy's empire built on pain, power, and silence? Or is 50 Cent finally forcing the music mafia to crumble? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you're stunned, and subscribe for more bombshells. They pray we don't expose. The game just changed permanently.